sold. I promise you guys that.
Number 5, the biggest issue I have had with Audi, an issue I had with my last Audi, an issue I noticed in my mom's Audi, an issue I've seen all over the forums. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, or as I should say tonight, we're going on a little night drive and talking about all the big maintenance I've done or I'm planning to do with this car. So more specifically, we're gonna go over the top 5 things that I've seen go wrong with my car and other Audis. And make sure you stick around for the 5th one, because as much as I glazed this car and every other Audi, this one I got serious beef with Audi about. And no, it would not be a night POV without the windows down and the Supercharger 1, am I right? Yo, and real quick, if you're still here and interested in this video, I'm gonna be making all types of content around this car and every other car I add to my collection. So make sure to hit both that sub and like button, because it does help me out greatly. I know it's just a simple little button. YouTube takes all this stuff in consideration, and I'm really trying to go crazy with content. So every little button clicked is actually massively helpful, and I'd massively appreciate it. But first things first, you guys know we gotta get the thumbnail taken for this, right? And what better place than a new gas station with premium lighting. I will say this, the biggest problem about owning a Ford F-150 and an Audi S4 is never parking on the right side for your gas. Like, I'm always trying to remember which car I'm driving. And before it was never a problem, but until I got that F-150, my gosh. Alrighty, I guess we're not getting gas. You're telling me of every gas station I picked, this was the one that was out of service? Turns out we're gonna run on empty. I'm gonna take a quick thumbnail picture and then we're gonna get right into this video. Alrighty guys, let's get into the number 1 thing that is an extremely common issue on these Audi S4s, and that is the control arms. Now, I'm not sure why Audi has such a hard time with these control arms, but it's something I was warned about when I was getting the car. And when I originally bought the car, I had it inspected, and these control arms were cracked the day I bought it. And I believe I bought this car at, I want to say, like 47,000 miles. I have 74,000 on it now. And ever since I got those fixed, I've really had no issues since. They felt completely fine to me. Granted, I'm not super hard on this car. I occasionally have fun with it, but to be honest, I kind of baby this car. I've owned it since 2021, I believe, and it's, what, 2024 now, so I've only really put, I don't even think, a full 30,000 miles on the car since I bought it. I think I'm like 8,000 miles a year on that, and honestly, that's pretty skewed, because I've taken this thing all the way from California to Virginia. I've done several trips. First, I drove it to California to Texas when I moved here. Car drove great, no issues at all. Aside from that big issue I mentioned I talked about for number 5. But yeah, I mean, from California to Texas and Texas to Virginia, and then from Virginia back to Texas. I mean, I've put a lot of freeway miles on this car, but honestly, I haven't put a whole lot of street miles. So maybe that contributes to why I don't have as many issues with this thing, who knows? But honestly, I doubt it. I do all my regular service with this car. It's not like I baby it to the point that I never redline it, but I do take pretty good care of it, and I'm sure that's definitely a big reason as to why I haven't had a ton of issues with this thing. I don't believe the control arms were a big deal though. I think all in all, after the mechanic installed it, I think I was around $1,000 for that fix. I don't think it was insanely crazy. And honestly, if these control arms last me like 50,000 miles, and honestly, I don't really know how long control arms are supposed to last you, but I'd be pretty happy if these got me 50,000 miles. And for the next set of control arms, I'd probably go with some upgraded performance ones anyways. So for the next big issue you're gonna see on a lot of S4s is a bad PCV valve. Typically, that's gonna be bad fuel economy. You'll see a rough idle and sometimes even increased oil consumption with these things. I know a lot of people say Audis consume a ton of oil, but it's pretty rare that I'm adding oil into this car unless I'm doing an oil change. Maybe if I'm like 4,000 miles into the oil change, I'll have to add a cord in, and that's just out of precaution. It's not because it desperately needs it yet. I'll just see that the levels are low. These S4s are nowhere near the B8 and the B8.5 A4s. And trust me, I owned an A4. I was putting a quart of oil in that every 400 miles or so. It was terrible. And look at, hey, thanks Shell, we now have a gas light on because you guys weren't selling gas for some reason tonight. I mean, come on. So this next one's the evap purge canister, I believe it's called. Don't quote me on that. I'm not super familiar about this specific fix that I had to get done. I believe it's the vacuum in the engine that handles exact fuel vapors. I had an engine light go on, and I think that was like $100 part or something. It wasn't anything crazy at all. Not a big deal, not something I would worry about. If we're gonna have maintenance issues, if it's something that small, be my guest. I do not mind small fixes. Anything is better than this next issue we're gonna get into. So if you've looked into S4s at all, you've probably heard about the timing chain issues. The S4 is known to have a bit of a rattle sound on your cold start. It doesn't happen to every S4 to my knowledge, but I know it's extremely common. And yes, this S4 does have a rattle sound on the cold start. It's not super loud, and honestly, when I compare it to a lot of the videos I've watched, it's nowhere near as loud as other ones. Granted, maybe it's just not bad enough yet to where it's a problem. So I will be doing the entire timing chain at some point, probably at about 100,000 miles as preventative maintenance, because that's what my homie's recommending me. And I'm fortunate enough to have someone that's gonna help me out with that and not have to be $3,000, $4,000, maybe $5,000 out on something like that. Now, I will say a lot of people say they have the rattle start and that they've had it for long term. Based on the forums, it looks like it's not abnormal to have the rattle start and that be the worst of the issues. So personally, I'm not like super worried about it. It's just, you know, if I have the opportunity to fix mine, I'm just gonna fix it. But it does sound like if you do have a bad timing chain system, that you can bend valves and then now you're just completely screwed all the way around, and you know, I mean, have fun buying a new block, right? So, I don't know. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that is the Porsche store here in Austin. It's pretty fucking sick, I'm not gonna lie. I love that store, it's super cool. I've been in there when I was trying to get my wrap done and kind of looking at the Porsche white, gray, all those kind of tones they do. I'm trying to closely match that, but ended up going with something a little different, as you guys saw in the previous videos. Make sure you guys check that out if you haven't yet, because again, I'm really looking to grow this channel. I plan on doing all types of content around this car. I'm not gonna be one of those people that overhypes the Audi and then doesn't tell you when something goes wrong. If my transmission falls out from under me, I will let you guys know, and I'm gonna make content from it. That's the great thing about making content, is anything you do, you can make content out of. And that's what I love so much about doing content, is finding a way to make any situation better. Because there's no point of dwelling upon what happens and kind of just moping about it and never doing anything to fix it, right? At least if I'm making content, I can show you guys the progress of what it looks like to fix whatever it is. And if I can't fix it, taking it to a friend that can, or maybe even just a mechanic. I'll never claim to be some super knowledgeable car guy, at least not for now. I'm still learning so much about cars. And yeah, I mean, I plan on filming the entire process of me doing so. It is so weird listening to that supercharger with the windows down. I honestly never drive with my windows down. I'm only doing it to catch that on the microphone because I felt like it would sound pretty sick, and I'm hoping it picks it up well. But damn, that actually sounds sick. That's probably one of the biggest reasons I bought this car, was for that sound alone. I just love it so much. Alrighty guys, number 5. You know what? Number 5. The biggest issue I have had with Audi, an issue I had with my last Audi, an issue I noticed in my mom's Audi, an issue I've seen all over the forums. Go the fuck away, Audi. Fix this problem, please. Please. We gotta do something about your shitty AC systems, please. Guys, I don't know if I've been super unlucky with the 3 Audis that have been in my family, the A4, the S4, and my mom's Q5. Granted, her Q5 never had any AC issues, it just never blew super cold. But my A4 was a very, honestly, kind of similar to that as well. It just wasn't a super cold AC system. I don't know what it was. Granted, I never looked into it, so who knows, maybe it was something simple, but man, I am 3 for 3 on Audis not having great AC, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's just bad luck after the 3rd one. So let's get into everything that's gone wrong with this Audi's AC, because it is a laundry list. So what is this massive problem? Well, it was the compressor, it was the Schrader valves, and now it's the blend door actuator. I got super lucky about the compressor. Well, not really, because I've seen like 5 mechanics trying to get this issue fixed. The first one being, hold up, I found a gas station, pit stop, pit stop, pit stop. No way this one's out of service too, right? We got right side gas, let's go around. Yes, sir. Since I have like 10 miles left in it after pushing the supercharger. By the way, that supercharger kills the gas tank. I don't know if you guys can see me, but my first gas tank with this car, I believe I got 100 miles out of it. I basically redlined it at every single light. Killed that entire tank at 100 miles. People are so weird at gas stations. This Prius just pulled up, tried to go to a pump, and now they're flipping a bitch. I'm about to see him drive away. I'm about to get shot. This guy just drove off. Like, holy fuck, you guys are weird. And this is the slowest gas pump. I guess Texas pumps just suck. I haven't even gotten a gallon out yet. Holy shit. I know this is a little too up close and personal. There's this homeless guy sitting crisscross right behind the pump staring at me. I didn't even see him because I was busy making a video for you guys. All right, bro, this gas station's creeping me out. This guy's been chilling. I'm not even in like the ghetto, guys. Like, this is not a bad area. I should have brought my gun. Damn. I don't feel safe out here. Christian Auto Brothers tried to tell me my AC lines were the leak. Turns out I go to another tech because I didn't believe them. And by the way, they wanted like $3 grand, I believe. It was $1,500 for parts, another $1,500 for labor to do the lines. I didn't believe that bullshit at all. Went to another auto AC tech, and he found there was no leak in the lines because the pressure wasn't dropping at all. And then after UV dyeing it, we found the compressor was leaking out everything. There was Freon all over the compressor, so it led us to believe that that had to have been the reason. And I got really lucky because I ended up moving like a month later, so I wasn't even able to get on that tech's books. Started working at a Dodge dealership, met a mechanic, and he did the labor for $300, I think, and the other guy was gonna do it for like $1 grand. He did all 3 of those, the compressor, the dryer, and the condenser, and I believe the parts were about $600. I think all in I was at like $900 there. Not bad at all, super happy, especially in Texas. I mean, it gets like 110 here in the summer and super humid, so having AC work for $900, we will take that 100%. But yeah, the reason I did the condenser and the dryer with the compressor is because that if you do a new compressor and there is any damage done to the condenser and the dryer that were not found, you could potentially break your brand new compressor, and then you're back to ground zero and you're just spending even more money. So I think I spent like another $200 on parts or something like that as another precaution thing to kind of cover my ass for that. But now we have the blend door issue, and luckily that's a super cheap part. Unluckily, I've never done anything like that. Even more unluckily, there's no videos on it. There's hardly anything on the forums about it. So I'm basically either going to be attempting that on my own, or I'm going to be waiting for a friend to come out here and kind of help me figure that out, because honestly, I really don't want to pay a mechanic to do something so easy, and I'm trying to learn how to do things on my own, so I'm hoping that I can just get a friend to help me out with that, and kind of show me the ropes. So I can learn to work on this car and hopefully my future cars more and more and understand the way things work. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've been building PCs for people. I want to say I've built like 30 PCs at this point. And if I can figure out how to do that at a young age, I don't see why I can't learn how to work on cars too, just out of my driveway with a couple beers, maybe a pizza, and some good friends, right? That pretty much wraps up my entire list of maintenance that has gone on with this car or that is going to go on with this car. This guy's totally going to pull out, isn't he? It's not. All right, good. Let me know if you guys like videos like this. I'm probably going to do another drive, but during the day as well. I've just always kind of wanted to try doing a night drive. This is a very new style of video to me. I've never done anything like this, but yeah, it was cool just taking the car on a drive and, you know, not listening to music for once and listening to the sound of the car and just talking about it. So yeah, guys, let me know if you'd be interested in maybe the flip side of this car, which is everything I love about it and everything that's gone well with it and that sort of thing. Because I can talk about this car for hours on end. And to the Audi dealership that denied me as a salesman back when I was really in a pinch for money, I'm just telling you right now, you lost your #1 salesman that would have been brand new to the job. I'm telling you that right now. I could go on and on about these cars. And ironically, as a kid, I used to hate the Audi logo. I just never even had an interest in this car. To me, the Audi was just like a Kia or something back then. I don't even know. But for whatever reason, I didn't like them. And after I sold my 68 Mustang, I knew I wanted a German, found that A4, grew out of it, and then finally came to the S4. And I can guarantee you guys, this is a car I'm never going to sell. It is a timeless design. I want to continue to modify this and make it look the best it possibly can. And make content around the entire process of it, guys. So please, again, I know I've said it a couple times, make sure to hit that like button for me, subscribe, and drop a comment if you guys did enjoy this video. It massively helps out the channel a lot. You guys have no clue how much the algorithm favors content that actually has real engagement. So for real, guys, you'd be greatly helping me out. That sound never gets old. I promise you guys that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.